Some love stories don't begin with passion. They begin with a letter, a Lonely Hearts ad in the newspaper with the hope of finding love or a fling. But behind the words of some of these Lonely Hearts ads was someone dark, someone who promised devotion but delivered destruction. Valentine's Day is approaching, and your girl, Tika, your true crime bestie with cold-blooded serial, thought, why not do a special that starts the same way so many romances once did? And today's episode is about the couple who took advantage of those Lonely Heart ads. We're talking about Raymond Fernandez and Martha Beck, one of the most infamous criminal couples in American true crime history, often referred to as the Lonely Hearts Killers. Let's dive in. Raymond Martinez Fernandez was born on December 17, 1914, in Hawaii to Spanish parents. While he was a child, his family moved to Connecticut. Since this case is so old, there's not a ton of information about him, but it was mentioned that he suffered a serious head injury in World War II aboard a ship in 1945. It was then that his personality changed significantly. He became moody and unstable. Raymond thought of himself as a master of voodoo who could entice women. And in 1946, he decided to put this to the test by writing letters to various women who placed personal ads. He'd prey on these women's vulnerability. He'd gain their trust, rob them blind, and then disappear without a trace. The victims were usually so embarrassed by the situation that they chose not to report him. So Ray's scamming spree continued. And this sounds similar to like some of those documentaries that I've seen on Netflix where it's like dating gone wrong, or I was scammed by some guy I met online. Like all of these women feel such shame afterwards, where really it should be the man feeling shame for robbing these women blind, you know? And apparently Raymond was like one of the original Tinder swindlers, you know? Obviously, they didn't have Tinder back then, but he was like that original catfisher or swindler of women. So he just wanted to rob women. He wanted them to feel vulnerable enough with him, to trust him, so that way he could just rob them of their money and any precious jewels that they had. These scams didn't turn deadly until he met Martha Jewel Beck, who was born as Martha Jewel Seabrook on May 6, 1920 in Milton, Florida. Just like all the prior women, Raymond met Martha through an ad that she placed. But instead of robbing her, he fell in love with her. And he was like, listen, Martha, I have to come clean. I am not the man that you think I am. I am actually a scammer. I find these lonely women I almost said online. I find these lonely women in the newspaper. I go to them, I make them fall in love with me, and then I rob them blind. Martha, you're the only woman who I've ever fallen in love with. Martha's like, okay, I love you, so you know what? I can look past these crimes. And you know what would be even better? If we do this together. A couple who robs together stays together. Once Martha Beck and Raymond Fernandez teamed up, Martha was like, you know what? F my kids. Like literally, you guys, like she packed her children up and was like, hey, you guys are gonna be living at the Salvation Army now because I need to devote myself to my new man, Raymond Fernandez. Yeah, she's not a stellar mom, is she? She was like, no, this man loves me and no other man has ever loved me before. I can always have other kids if I want them, but actually kids get in the way. So I'm just gonna go and travel the United States and rob innocent women. And that's what the two of them did. They traveled throughout the United States posing as siblings so that way their victims would feel safe. So Ray continued what he's been doing since 1946. He would seduce women he met through the ads, and once they trusted him, that's when he would rob them of their money and of their possessions. But Martha, she's sitting back looking like, I don't like this. No, I should be the only one that Raymond should be seducing. I should be the only one flirting with him. Like, I'm his girlfriend. Yeah, you think I'm his sister, but I'm actually his girlfriend, and I don't appreciate women seducing my man, and I don't appreciate my man seducing another woman. And her jealousy just continued to grow as she watched women laughing and flirting with her husband. And this is when his schemes became violent. Their killing spree is believed to have taken place between 1947 and 1949. However, they were only convicted for one murder, which was their first murder, Janet Faye. Janet Faye was a 66-year-old woman in New York City who Martha bludgeoned with a hammer after seeing her in bed with Raymond in 1949. After the murder of Janet Faye, the couple fled to Marshall, Michigan, where they began living with a 28-year-old woman named Delphine Downing and her 2-year-old daughter. Delphine was a widow, and like a lot of women at the time, she was lonely. But she believed that there was still a second chance. After all, she's only 28. So, when a 35-year-old man named Raymond Fernandez answered her Lonely Hearts ad, her hope rose. He sounded kind, attentive, interested in her life. He traveled with his sister, which is okay because that actually made Delphine feel safe. So, when he asked to visit, she was like, yeah, you and your sister can come and stay with me and my 2-year-old. What poor Delphine didn't know was that this is exactly how he has tricked his other victims. When the siblings moved in, everything was going great. For days, nothing seemed wrong. But friends, one night, everything changed for both Delphine and her 2-year-old daughter. Now, if you've been with me long enough, you know that I hate reporting evil acts against kids. It makes me so emotional and it breaks my heart. Well, buckle up, friends, because here comes another one. One night, Raymond gave Delphine some sleeping pills, and because it's only been Delphine and her daughter for the 2 years that her daughter's been alive, the daughter has a routine of going into her mom's room at night, which is completely normal for, I think, most little kids. They usually go and find mommy, right? Well, this night, Delphine was not waking up, and this frightened the daughter because she's like, hey, mommy always wakes up. What's going on? So I'm assuming that the baby started to cry, and she's probably crying loudly. Like, obviously she can't vocalize, mommy, wake up. But she is probably just crying, knowing that something is wrong, because for the first time in her life, her mom is not waking up to comfort her. Martha, who seems to be more evil than Raymond, panicked and decided to strangle the little girl, who, by the graces of God, survived the strangulation. She just passed out. To cover the horrendous act that Martha committed, Raymond shot Delphine Downing to prevent her from finding out what happened to her daughter. A few days later, Martha Beck decided to drown the 2-year-old baby in another fit of rage. There's definitely a special place in hell for Martha and for Raymond for just sitting back and letting this happen. The two of them panicked and buried Delphine's body in the basement. They cleaned the house, they packed their things, and they left as if nothing had happened. But the quietness of Delphine's home rang loudly, and Delphine's neighbors noticed the silence. The neighbors were like, listen, we need to report this to the authorities. And the neighbors reported their disappearance to the police. And when investigators entered the home, they weren't looking for anything in particular. They were just trying to find signs of a missing mother and her toddler. However, when they walked down to the basement, they found something beneath the basement floor that changed everything. Investigators found out about Delphine's connection to Raymond Fernandez, and it's unclear how many people the Lonely Hearts killers actually murdered. There was only enough evidence to convict them in 3 cases, but they may have killed as many as 20 victims. And on February 28, 1949, Raymond Fernandez and Martha Beck were arrested. When investigators came to question him, he quickly confessed. Raymond Fernandez spoke about Lonely Hearts ads like they were a system. He confessed on how he chose women, how he gained their trust, how easy it was. But Martha Beck's confessions were different. They weren't about money. They weren't about planning. They were all about him. She talked about her jealousy, about her fear of being replaced, and about doing whatever was necessary to keep Raymond close, including killing. Martha's eerie last words were, "What does it matter who is to blame? My story is a love story, but only those tortured with love can understand what I mean. In the history of the world, how many crimes have been attributed to love?" And friends, on March 8th, 1951, Raymond Fernandez and Martha Beck were executed together in the same prison, on the same day, in the same chair. In the end, they got exactly what they wanted, each other. And friends, thank you so much for tuning in to another episode of Cold-Blooded Serial. I am your host and true crime bestie, Tika. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time, trust your gut, stay safe, and be aware of your surroundings. Bye.